Hello everyone, welcome to the channel, a spiritual user manual for life. This channel is dedicated to reading, unpacking, and analyzing the text section of the book, A Course in Miracles. It contains valuable knowledge very much in need by everyone, because of the philosophical style it is written in. Many have difficulty comprehending it, having studied it for many years. I offer my understanding. As a Langnap, I include knowledge drawn from the Seth books of Jane Roberts. The sparkly edition version of the book is used. The videos follow the order of the text. This one is for the section in Chapter 2, the Reinterpretation of Defenses. This is a long section which I've split into two videos, A and B. This is Part A, to distinguish between the text and my commentary. The word text will precede the text. The word comments will precede the commentary. Note, as per the course, the voice of the text is that of Jesus. Let's begin. Chapter 2. The Reinterpretation of Defenses, Part A. Text. When you are afraid of anything, you are acknowledging its power to hurt you. Remember that where your heart is, there is your treasure also. This means that you believe in what you value. If you are afraid, you are valuing wrongly. Human understanding will inevitably value wrongly, and by endowing all human thoughts with equal power, will inevitably destroy peace. That is why the Bible speaks of the peace of God which passeth human understanding. This peace is totally incapable of being shaken by human errors of any kind. It denies the ability of anything which is not of God to affect you in any way. This is the proper use of denial. It is not used to hide anything, but to correct error. It brings all error into the light, and since error and darkness are the same, it corrects error automatically. True denial is a powerful protective device. You can and should deny any belief that error can hurt you. This kind of denial is not a concealment device, but a correction device. The right mind of the mentally healthy depends on it. You can do anything I ask. I have asked you to perform miracles, and have made it clear that miracles are natural, corrective, healing, and universal. There is nothing good they cannot do, but they cannot be performed in the spirit of doubt. God and the souls He created are completely dependent on each other. The creation of the soul has already been perfectly accomplished, but the creation by souls has not. God created souls so He could depend on them because He created them perfectly. He gave them His peace so they could not be shaken and would be unable to be deceived. Whenever you are afraid, you are deceived. Your mind is not serving the soul. This literally starves the soul by denying its daily bread. God offers only mercy. Your words should reflect only mercy, because that is what you have received, and that is what you should give. Comments. Before going further, it is important to have a refresher on some key information. These can be found in the previous videos of this channel. It will help greatly in understanding what this section is about. Projection. The mind's ability to manifest, bring into existence its contents. These being our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, desires, and will. Through our intellectual and intuitive abilities, we manipulate this content. When we combine all of them, we get what we think about, we bring about. With this awareness, we can appreciate the importance of having content that is based on the truth of our Creator and in accord with its will for us. That is being productive and constructive, bringing peace and joy, and serving others. Unfortunately, over time, we have allowed all sorts of lies, misinformation, disinformation, distortions, and more to enter and take deep root in our minds. This has led to all sorts of miscreations, some with disastrous consequences. Countless fears have also been a byproduct. A corollary to what we think about, we bring about, is we see what we believe, and we believe what we see. This now puts us in a loop, requiring an intercession to break out of. The atonement principle is that intercession. It uses miracles to help us identify, disarm, and dislodge these erroneous contents. Ways to heal the damage done. Get us back on the path to our original objective, becoming co-creators with our God. This section presents several tools, miracles, and how to use them. They are also excellent examples of the golden rule in action. What you give, you will receive. What you give through their use, you will receive. Keep in mind that when you give first to yourself. Let's continue. Text. Justice is a temporary expedient, or an attempt to teach man the meaning of mercy. Its judgmental side arises only because man is capable of injustice, if that is what his mind creates. You are afraid of God's will because you have used your own will, which he created in the likeness of his own, to miscreate. What you do not realize is that the mind can miscreate only when it is not free. An imprisoned mind is not free by definition. It is possessed or held back by itself. Its will is therefore limited and is not free to assert itself. The real meaning of are of one kind, which was mentioned before, is are of one mind or will. When the will of the sonship and the Father are one, their perfect accord is heaven. Denial of error is a powerful defense of truth. You will note that we have been shifting the emphasis from the negative to the positive use of denial. As we have already stated, denial is not a purely negative device. It results in positive miscreation. That is the way the mentally ill do employ it. But remember a very early thought of your own. Never underestimate the power of denial. In the service of the right mind, the denial of error frees the mind and re-establishes the freedom of the will. When the will is really free, it cannot miscreate because it recognizes only truth. Comments. The course has a way of using unusual or unorthodox word constructs for conveying ideas, requiring some effort at unpacking their meanings. Positive miscreation, a spiritual a priori oxymoron, is one such. Here's my understanding of it. A projection of erroneous content, with a positive intent. This is the proper use of denial, refusing or denying the negative, finding and asserting the positive. Easy examples are white lies, the tooth fairy, and making lemonade when given lemons. We do this a lot. Text. False projection arises out of false denial, not out of its proper use. My own role in the atonement is one of true projection. I can project to you the affirmation of truth. If you project error to me or to yourself, you are interfering with the process. My use of projection, which can also be yours, is not based on faulty denial. It does involve, however, the very powerful use of the denial of errors. The miracle worker is one who accepts my kind of denial and projection, unites his own inherent abilities to deny and project with mine, and imposes them back on himself and others. This establishes the total lack of threat anywhere. Together, we can then work for the real time of peace, which is eternal. The improper use of defenses is quite widely recognized, but their proper use has not been sufficiently understood as yet. They can indeed create man's perception, both of himself and of the world. They can distort or correct, depending on what you use them for. Denial should be directed only to error, and projection should be reserved only for truth. You should truly give as you have truly received. The golden rule can work effectively only on this basis. Intellectualization is a term which stems from the mind-brain confusion. Right-mindedness is the device which defends the right mind and gives it control over the body. Intellectualization implies a split, while right-mindedness involves healing. Withdrawal is properly employed in the service of withdrawing from the meaningless. It is not a device for escape, but for consolidation. There is only one mind. Dissociation is quite similar. You should split off or dissociate yourself from error, but only in defense of integration. Detachment is essentially a weaker form of dissociation. Flight can be undertaken in whatever direction you choose, but note that the concept itself implies flight from something. Flight from error is perfectly appropriate. Distantiation can be properly used as a way of putting distance between yourself and what you should fly from. Regression is an effort to return to your own original state. It can thus be utilized to restore rather than to go back to the less mature. Sublimation should be a redirection of effort to the sublime. There are many other so-called dynamic concepts which are profound errors due essentially to the misuse of defenses. Among them is the concept of different levels of aspiration, which actually result from level confusion. However, the main point to be understood from this section is that you can defend truth as well as error, and, in fact, much better. The means are easier to clarify after the value of the goal itself is firmly established. Everyone defends his own treasure. You do not have to tell him to do so, because he will do it automatically. The real questions still remain. What do you treasure, and how much do you treasure it? Once you have learned to consider these two questions, and to bring them into all your actions as the true criteria for behavior, I will have little difficulty in clarifying the means. You have not learned to be consistent about this as yet. I have therefore concentrated on showing you that the means are available whenever you ask. You can, however, save a lot of time if you do not extend this step unduly. The correct focus will shorten it immeasurably. Comments. Now that we've been given tools on how to deal with the erroneous contents in our minds, the next step is to identify them and recognize how deeply held they are. Many of them have been there for a long time. Some we were even born into. Many, probably most, are held by members of our family, community, groups we identify with, even our nation. That's where we got them from in the first place, which makes it difficult to remove them. This is why the defenses mentioned are necessary. My experiences have shown me that this can be challenging, for in most situations, you are going against the accepted norms, where you find identity and acceptance. No one likes being segregated or ostracized. However, it is a cleansing process that all must go through. As the course states in the introduction, it is a required course. The good news is that this period lasts only for a while, which you can keep to a minimum by learning and practicing these concepts to the best of your abilities with minimal interruptions. As you progress, you can then be of great service to these same individuals in helping them the way you've been helped. That's the plan. Understanding and recognizing these miscreations will go a long way towards identifying and removing the contents that gave rise to their projection. It took a while to erect them. It will take a while to remove them. We're being given the tools for this essential task. As always, I recommend examining these ideas carefully. Put them to the test. Are they valid? Can they be verified? How reliable are they? Truth be told, some of them being so new and different, we are only now becoming aware of the appropriate tools and awareness to properly evaluate them. This is understood and expected. This is a course meant to teach and train us. It would not be necessary if we, most of us that is, already knew this. Hope you join me for the next recording. Chapter 2, The Reinterpretation of Defenses, Part B. If you've gotten any value from this video, please like, share, and subscribe.